Welcome, everyone. I am John Ryan, and this is the NBA Triple Double for May the 2nd, 2022. And we're going to break down the two games on the NBA card for tonight. And I, as always, have my good friend and pal, professional sports bettor, Ronald Cabang in the house. Ron, how are things going for you, and anything going on at SportsMemo?
Yeah, to so far in the postseason, I'm hitting over 60% of my NBA playoff plays. Nothing right now as far as premium plays posted. Currently, still diving into these games. We'll talk about, obviously the two NBA playoff games today. One has a whole bunch of injury, like a long list on the injury report. So that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of holding off on posting a play on that one. But yeah, so I know you're having a great playoffs.
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's now epic, I guess, to use some of the other people's words, but humbly said, 19-5 against the spread for 79% winners, 69% against the spread over the last 71 NBA best bets, and totals for the season are hitting at 73%. And I have another 4%er going tonight. So it's $9 Monday, guys. You can get Ronald's play and my play for just $9. And we're going to have another special offer between the shows. I mean, between the games, between the shows, between the picks. And I'll tell you what that is when we get to that point. So let's see what we got here. My slides are not up yet. As we do this, but we can add them as we go. Let's go to the first game, and then I'll add the slides if there's not a technical error. We have the Philadelphia 76ers going to FTX Arena. That means we're down in that place called Miami, Florida, to take on the Heat. Heat were the number one seed in the Eastern Conference this year. They're 57-30 right now. That includes playoff games, going up against a Sixers team that's played one more extra game than they have, and they are 55-33. They're 41-45-2 against the number. But more importantly, Ronald, Joel Embiid, I thought, took a flagrant shot. And talk and rumor, speculation has been surfacing that the Raptors were kind of fed up with the dunking there at the end of the game. But you know what? If you don't like that, then you had to play better. And there's no reason to take an elbow and put it into somebody's eye. And I don't care if the guy is the worst player in the NBA or is he contending MVP. I thought that was a little uncalled for, especially the referees not even calling a flagrant one. I don't know. Maybe you saw it differently. But I will tell you this, to tee it up. The last time the Sixers and the Heat played, the Heat were at full strength, and the Sixers played without Embiid, and guess who won? March 21st, the Sixers defeated the Miami Heat as 8.5-point home favorites at the Wells Fargo's 8.5-point home dogs at the Wells Fargo Center back in March. And I'm not sure if that's going to carry over, but I do know another thing, and I'll turn it over to you, is that when the Sixers play without Embiid, they play faster. And I believe it's between 5, 6, or 7 possessions per game. And that's why initially here I'm leaning over. But let's hear what you have to say about this matchup and any best bet direction that you're going to take us.
Yeah, you mentioned Embiid being out. That's obviously huge for the 76ers here. On Miami side, the reason why I've kind of held off on this game, there's just a laundry list of players on their injury report right now. There's Butler, Tucker, Martin, Strus, and Harrell. They're all game time decision at this point. And from what I read, they're all, true questionable status. I didn't see one that was probable or likely to play or anything like that. So that's the only reason why I'm kind of staying out this game for a while until I get a more solid status on these players. From a regular season matchup standpoint, you mentioned that last game where Embiid didn't play. You know who else didn't play? Harden didn't play that game either. So for Philly, Maxey, Milton, and Korkmaz, they went off that game. And I think there was only 2 games the Sixers played without Embiid post All-Star break. So that's obviously we're after the trade deadline with Harden, and the other one was against Detroit. So I don't know if that we could put too much onto that. But those 2 games where Embiid didn't play, Maxey just balled out. And obviously he's been playing really well in the playoffs as well. So that he might be someone to look towards as far as, a lot of people, when we're talking like props for this game specifically, a lot of people are just going to go straight to Harden, right? Because he's going to be, the ball. He's going to have the ball in his hands for a majority of the time. But the games where Embiid was out for those 2 games post All-Star break, Maxey really took off as far as scoring. So you would probably want to look towards his over points props. That's one way that I would look at this game at this point, not knowing who's playing for Miami. From a total aspect, I do agree with the over. I think obviously they're going to play. They should, be playing a faster pace here without Embiid kind of, playing that one-on-one post game. And if that works out, and Philly hits the threes, that's going to have Miami have to push the pace here. So I agree with the look towards the over as well. From the side perspective, I really can't. It's really hard, at this point when you don't really know who's playing for Miami. But the only person that we know who is out is Lowry. So that to me, I think that still is a plus for Maxey on the prop side. So, that's my look on this game. There's really it's just tough from a side perspective. So, yeah, those are my look for this game.
Yeah, I like the look too. I think Miami's defense is going to have to change their usual style. They like to protect the rim and also the paint area. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Doc Rivers come out with a really small lineup of perimeter sharpshooters. And Yang probably be the best or the tallest guy on the court for the Sixers at 6'7", and obviously he's not in the game as a starter to replace Embiid, who is more than a foot taller, or not more than a foot tall. You know what I'm saying? Half a foot. Let's give it that.
Yeah.
More than a foot taller in terms of what he brings to the game, and the usage rate for Embiid is in the low 30%. So that's like 34% of the time he's involved in a score. But I do think the Sixers have a squad that can score points on this Miami defense if they can the three. If they can the three, it's going to go way over the total. So I actually like this total all the way up to like 211.5. And I think the winner scores at least 111 on their own merit. So let's move on to our next one, Ronald. And that is the Dallas Mavericks going to the Phoenix Suns here, game 1. And I'm a little surprised that this line isn't higher. I don't think the Suns have really been getting the respect they're due for some reason. I could be dead wrong on that, but they're 68-20 on the season, and they're playing a team that has 12 fewer wins, yet they're only 5.5-point home favorites in game 1. So I will tell you right away, I'm leaning Phoenix already on this game, and I think they, as the number 1 seed in the entire NBA, let alone the Western Conference, I think they know they have to bring the A-plus game and take care of business on their home court tonight. Do you see it the same way, Ronald?
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, the only way that I'm looking here is towards the Suns. I think you mentioned, the Suns aren't getting the respect that they deserve based on this line. I think to me, it's the other way around. I think the Mavs are getting a lot more respect, too much respect. I think the way that they played Utah is affecting this line here. And what I was talking about last week when I was looking into the series is. The Mavs obviously looked a lot better than they are against Utah, because they're facing a team in Utah Jazz who really don't have the team chemistry that the Suns have here. And I was speaking about offensively, the Mavs struggled against a team that was I think Utah finished 10th in defensive rating during the regular season. The Suns are 3rd in defensive rating, so it's going to be a lot tougher for the Mavs here to put up points against a team that is stronger defensively all around, and a team that has a higher, team morale. If you look at the Jazz, they had players not even really liking each other at a personal level, and that affects the game when you're on the court. The Suns here, they have their chemistry really is on point. You can see that when they play the game. They're happy, they're having fun. Booker he looked like he was recovered from his injury pretty quickly. People were surprised that he played that last game, and I think with the extra rest, he's going to be more. He'll be stronger in this game as well. The Suns are at full strength here, and to me right now, I think the Suns in this game, specifically game one, I think the line is telling us that I feel like the Mavs are just getting a little bit too much respect here. I think the Suns will win and cover this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Obviously, that's what I said before with the preview, and I have something that supports the over in this game. Let me just get to it here. Here we are. I'm sorry, not the over. I actually like the under, and I'll do some live in-game strategy that I've already mapped out. So the under in this game, all totals with a total of 210 or more points of regular season playoff games after one of the teams, being Phoenix in this case, has covered 2 of the last 3 against the spread, is a top-level team winning 75% or more of their games, playing another elite team that is winning at least 60% of their games in the season. That translates into a 43-20 under record for 68% winners over the last 5 seasons for the regular season and playoff action. So with the total where it is, currently, where are we seeing this total right now? We are seeing it at like 215-ish. So it's a quotient that you use for option evaluations in the stock market and commodities market. So it's called implied volatility. So this game is potentially, based on my model, is going to be more volatile than the Sixers and the Miami game. And you'll have opportunities where these teams are going to be playing very fast. They're going to be playing very slow based on what you're seeing at the scoring rate on the scoreboard. So at 215, if you don't like either side, you can play pizza money bets as follows, in my humble opinion. What you want to do is take your $10 bet, $20 bet, and look for under 221.5, and then a second one if you want at 226.5. If the game starts out slow in the first half, you want to look for 209.5 and then 206.5 to go over. So you actually have a great opportunity here. And of course, they always don't work out, but you have a chance here to get a middle, especially if you get those first 2 bets done in the first quarter, because that's when everything's going to be really volatile in terms of your pricing with the total. So that's my take on that game and some live in-game betting that people seem to like. I love it. I know you do too, Ronald. And now we have to move on to our best bets for the show. And I think the one that, that really sticks out is the Sixers over. And the fact that Embiid is not playing, and you made a great point that not only was Embiid not playing their previous matchup, neither was Harden. And if there was ever a time for Harden to really bring it, it would be tonight. And I think I see Maxey making 3, so I like the prop bets, 3-point shots over for the individuals. And then Harden, just his pizza money bet too. And it probably doesn't win, but triple-double I think is almost 6-1. And why not? $10, and if it hits, you got 6 more pizzas to eat than you had before. So I like the over quite a bit with the Sixers. And again, you can use that live in-game strategy that I've mapped out for the second game. And you look to buy the dips. If this game starts out physical and they're plodding along like they're playing in the mud, then take advantage of it, because you'll probably be able to get close to 200, maybe even under 200, and bet the over. So that's my take, Ron. What's your best bet for the show?
Yeah, I think I'll look towards that over with you. I do like the fact that you mentioned, I think the 76ers are going to play that small ball type of lineup. I could see Harden, Maxey, and Milton, playing those 3 guard positions a lot as well. I think, not together, but I think a combination of those 3 at the guard position. I think they're going to play a lot faster. They're going to be attacking the rim a little bit differently than it would be if it was Embiid. So to me, I think the pace and the style of play here would go towards the over, in my opinion, as well.
All right, great stuff. And before I let you go, we have a special promotion going on. Starting today, the Sports Memo people have put this out for all of us. 30-day all-access pass and 10 days free of sports picks and predictions. So you're getting 40 days for the price of 30. It's under $5 a day. I mean, that's just a ridiculously cheap price to get on board with some of the best professional sports bettors and handicappers literally on the planet. A 30-day all-access pass is priced at $299, but for a limited time, not only are we discounting the price by $100, but we're adding on 10 more days of picks for free. So outside the $100 discount, we are tossing a free 3-day all-access and a $39 value and a free 7-day all-access for $99 values for a combined savings of 238 smackers. So to recap, for the next 40 days, you will get all plays across all sports from your favorite Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicapper played during your access, including 5% best bets for under $5 a day. And folks, I humbly state I'm 7-2 against the spread with my 5% max NBA bets. Make sure you get over to sportsmemo.com and get Ronald's and my subscription now, and come on board. And I promise you, we're going to have a lot of fun. So that'll take care of today's show, Ronald. I appreciate you being on the show with me as always. We're going to be back tomorrow on Tuesday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time for another edition of the NBA Triple Double. So until then, remember the two things I always say: bet with your head, not over it, and may all the wins be yours.